To know what you're for and what you're not. Again, one of the mistakes I have made in the past is thinking, well, we do this really well, why don't we have a go at this as well? And we decided to take on an ice cream franchise from Ben & Jerry's. First people in Europe to do it, having gone to San Francisco. We lost £175,000 on that little escapade. This is during we've got lots of cash, what's the next business kind of thing. And it didn't all work, and that one really didn't work. I think it's really important to know what you're for and what you're not. And again, one of the things about 15, when I went there, I spent the first few weeks saying, what's 15 about? Asking everyone, and I'd get lots of different answers, which kind of boiled down to two. Is it a fancy restaurant that has a few young people in the kitchen, or is it a youth training program with some food? And there was, depending on who you talk to, you get different answers. So through a process of consultation and talking and me telling people as well, what we came to was that 15 is a brand which is about great food in cool environments, whose social purpose is the transformation of young people. 15 is a product with a purpose. So the product is great food in great restaurants. The purpose is the transformation of the lives of young people. And if this happens, and the product gets out ahead of the purpose, all you've got is a fancy restaurant with a few young people hanging around in the kitchen. And London's got loads of fancy restaurants. Why does it need another one? If this happens, and the purpose gets out ahead of the product, you've just got a youth training scheme with a bit of food, and no one's going to pay you 100 quid for that, are they? And so the way we developed our thinking at 15 was that the challenge for the management and the leadership of the company was to make sure that that distance between the product and the purpose was kept at the right kind of distance, so that, because if you don't have a product that people are prepared to pay for and go away and tell people how bloody great it is and that they're going to come back and their mates are going to come back, we haven't got the money and we haven't got the environment to train young people. I think the great insight that Jamie had with 15 is that the whites as a metaphor for change, but also the very act of putting them on changes people. You can see they're coming with their hoodies on, get their, could you say, stand up straight. Yeah. We spent, one of our biggest costs at 15 was laundry, because everyone has to look pristine, everyone costs a bloody fortune. So we developed all these things that constantly talk to them like they're chefs, don't we? And we would say to youngsters like him who are very intimidated and very scared when they get to 15. And one of the ways that they will show their fear is by being aggressive and belligerent. Is to say, well, they don't know how a restaurant works, don't know what a pass is, don't know what a sommelier is, don't know how to order food. All those things that I guess most of us in this room take for granted. It's a whole different world and culture. And Tony Elving, he used to be one of the trainers at 15, had this great thing about, fake it. Just put it on, pretend you own the place. Just walk in, and eventually you will. And anyway, most of the people working here, including Lee and Jamie on the board, they're making it up anyway as they go along. Why don't you? And so, for the right sort of young person, it's great. What we tried to do at 15 was not to say, and again, this is part of the power of social enterprise, I think, was not to say, come to us young people and we'll give you a little bit of incremental change. You're here and we'll put you here. We're saying, no, come to us, and by getting the skills and becoming part of our gang, your world can be completely different. And the name of the social report that we produced, reviewing the first 5 years, is called Life in the Present Tense. And what we noticed is that these the thing about cooking in the kitchen is it's about the present, it's about right now. Doesn't matter what happened at lunch, doesn't matter what happens at breakfast, it's now. There's 150 people who want their dinner, they're expecting it to be great. And so, and your path doesn't matter. What 15 does, I think, when it's done correctly, is it holds these young people in this now. That now gets bigger and bigger and bigger, so that the past doesn't go away, because our past never goes away, but it ceases to be the thing that defines the future. And then another future becomes possible. So, but I don't know what all your businesses are, I'm sure they're all very different. The point is, be very clear what your purpose is, and constantly be reviewing that. 'Cause it's very, very easy to add other bits on, or do a bit of this, or do a bit of that, and then you find a few years down the track that you're doing lots of things not very well. And be very, very good social entrepreneurs, I think, are very good at creating great squads of people to actually do it. Social entrepreneurs usually are very good communicators and very good at, getting the message out there. But unless you've got someone who loves making bread and making pasta and counting the money, you can be out there pontificating as much as you like. The actual product will be crap. As your business grows, and we grew and had loads of big vehicles and cabs out on the road all of the time, it's really easy to lose touch with what's actually going on in the business. Really, really easy. And we had a thing called Galbraith's theorem. And Galbraith was this cynical old scouser who ran all our vehicles. He'd sit there at the back when I was pontificating about social enterprise, going, it's all about trucks and stuff and men, and I know how to do that and you don't. And his what we used to call Galbraith's theorem was let's see if I can remember this now. The further you are away from the front line in a business, the better you think the service is. So something like the distance from the front line is inversely proportional to the something. And it's really true. So I would be going around the country saying, we're great, but as the people on the front line who were rocking up at properties in Leeds with 10 grand worth of furniture at the back, and they've got the wrong paperwork. And it's all those little things. And if you don't, and so what we did was an idea I nicked from Southwest Airlines in the States, where I went on a visit. They have a thing called Walk a Mile, which is basically if you are above a certain level of management, you are obliged to get onto the front line or walk the mile with the people doing the work. We instituted it at FRC, and it was if you were above a certain level, you had to every month go out in a vehicle, leave your mobile phone, because I used to do it, but just you go and pick up the stuff. I just got a phone call to me, it's really important. So you leave the phone behind, then you have to be on reception, you have to go on a sales meeting, because it's really easy to spend money, not so easy to make money. And it was great. It was really, really good. It's easy to, if you don't follow it through, it looks like a patronising kind of royal visit to the front line. Stay close. I'm guessing a lot of you are quite small businesses, 1 or 2, 3, 4 people. Is that? Yeah. But if you want to get big, you will get, you'll get bigger. It's really important, right as you grow, that you really work out how you're going to verify the quality of your products and services, so you don't get bitten like we do. Next slide, please. This is kind of linked to it. The propaganda of all organisations is always a little bit ahead of the reality, isn't it? And we all bullshit at a certain extent, but don't do too much of it. This is actually a picture of a real till in a real shop that FRC had that lost. There's another one that lost about 50, 60 grand. We had this great idea, but no one was coming into the shop to do it. We believed that our concept was great and they will come. And they didn't, because it was a crap concept. We lost a lot of money, so we realised we had to change it. So, be your own fiercest critics.